Most people think changing your life requires a big decision, a dramatic moment, a powerful promise to finally become someone new. But real change almost never. Most people think changing your life requires a big decision, a dramatic moment, a powerful promise to finally become someone new. But real change almost never begins like that. Real change is quiet. It starts in moments nobody sees, in small choices that feel too simple to matter. And yet, one quiet habit slowly made me better every single day. For a long time, I believed motivation was the answer. I waited until I felt inspired. I watched videos. I read quotes. I planned new routines. But nothing truly changed. Not because I was lazy, but because I depended on feelings instead of systems. I wanted a better life, but I did not build a structure that could support it. The truth is uncomfortable. Your future is not created by what you know. It is created by what you repeat. I realized something important when I looked honestly at my days, not my goals, not my dreams, my actual days. How I woke up, how I reacted to stress, how I spent my free time, how I spoke to myself when nobody was listening. My life was simply the result of those invisible patterns. And that is when I discovered a quiet habit that changed everything. Every evening, before going to sleep, I started asking myself one small question. Did I become a little better today? Not perfect, not productive all day, not successful, just a little better. At first, the question felt useless. It did not give me a clear task. It did not force me to work harder. It simply asked me to notice. But noticing changes behavior. When you ask the right question consistently, your mind begins to look for answers. I began to see how small my daily choices really were. One more episode instead of sleep. One more excuse instead of action. One more negative thought instead of patience. These moments were not dramatic, but they were shaping my future quietly. So I added one rule to my life. Every day, I had to make one small improvement. One page of reading. One short walk. One honest conversation. One difficult task I had been avoiding. One kind message to someone I care about. That was it. No pressure to do everything. No long checklist. No perfect routine. Just one small improvement. This habit did something powerful. It lowered the emotional barrier to change. I stopped waiting for energy. I stopped waiting for confidence. I stopped waiting for the right mood. The habit was small enough to fit into any kind of day. Good days, bad days, busy days, low days. I could always do one small thing. And slowly, something unexpected happened. I stopped thinking of self-improvement as a project. It became part of my identity. I was no longer someone who tried to change. I became someone who practices change. That shift is subtle, but it changes how you see yourself. When you believe you are capable of improving a little every day, you stop being afraid of slow progress. You stop rushing. You stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. You learn to respect small beginnings. Before this habit, I used to judge my days by results. Did I finish something big? Did I feel productive? Did I move closer to a major goal? But most days felt disappointing. Now I judge my days by alignment. Did I act like the person I want to become at least once today? That question is easier to answer, and it is much more honest. Because becoming better is not about building a perfect life. It is about building a consistent direction. There were days when my only improvement was going to bed earlier. There were days when my improvement was choosing silence instead of reacting in anger. There were days when my improvement was opening my notebook instead of opening social media. None of these actions looked impressive, but they were changing me quietly. One of the biggest lessons this habit taught me is this: you do not rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. When your system is small and repeatable, you win more often than you fail. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline is heavy. But a tiny habit is light enough to carry even when you are tired. This is especially important during difficult seasons of life. When you feel lost, when progress feels slow, when confidence feels fragile. In those moments, big plans collapse easily. Small habits survive. This quiet habit also changed the way I talk to myself. Before, I used harsh language. I criticized my mistakes. I focused on what I had not done. I measured my worth using unfinished goals. But when your only job is to improve a little today, you stop attacking yourself for being human. You start looking for opportunities instead of failures. That mental shift alone can change how you experience your entire life. There is something deeply empowering about keeping a promise to yourself every day, even a small one. It builds trust. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence. Not achievements. Not recognition, not praise. Confidence grows when your actions match your intentions repeatedly. This habit also made me more patient. I stopped expecting fast transformation. I stopped asking, "Why am I not better yet?" and started asking, "What can I improve today?" That question keeps you in the present. It protects you from frustration. It removes the pressure to fix your entire life at once. Because your life is not solved in one moment. It is shaped in thousands of small ones. Over time, I noticed real changes. I became more consistent with my work. I became calmer when things did not go as planned. I became more aware of my time. I became more careful with my energy. Not because I suddenly became disciplined, but because my standard for progress became realistic. And realistic standards are sustainable. This habit also helped me stop waiting for external validation. When your progress is private and small, you stop performing for others. You improve for yourself. That makes your growth quieter. But it also makes it stronger. There is no audience pressure. No comparison. No need to prove anything. Only a simple promise to become slightly better than yesterday. This is important because most people quit self-improvement not because it is difficult. They quit because it feels invisible. Nobody celebrates small habits. Nobody notices small changes. But your future will. Your future health. Your future relationships. Your future skills. Your future opportunities. They are all quietly shaped by what you repeat today. The habit itself is simple. Before you sleep, ask yourself one question. What is one small way I became better today? If you cannot find an answer, do one small thing before the day ends. Read one page. Stretch for 1 minute. Write one sentence. Clean one small area. Send one message. Forgive one small mistake. That is enough. This habit does not demand more time. It demands more awareness. And awareness is what separates automatic living from intentional living. You do not need a perfect routine. You do not need a new system every week. You do not need to completely change who you are. You only need to change what you repeat. Quietly. Gently. Consistently. The most dangerous lie about self-improvement is that you must feel ready before you begin. You do not. You only need to be willing to start small. This habit taught me that becoming better is not a personality trait. It is a daily practice. A very small one, a very quiet one, but powerful enough to change your life. And it can do the same for you.